Hey y'all, welcome to another week and another episode of Out in the Barn with Charles Hatcher. So last week I had mentioned that I wanted to discuss a little bit of my background and upbringing here at the dairy. So believe it or not, my start did not begin here at Hatcher Family Dairy here in Tennessee in College Grove. I was born in Russellville, Kentucky. So my dad is a veterinarian, and he did an internship while he was in vet school with a veterinarian in Russellville, Kentucky. And once my dad graduated from vet school, he got offered his first opportunity to work there full time. So we moved to Kentucky, Russellville. My immediate family lived there for 10 years. I was born there, but at the age of 5 is when we moved back here to the dairy. So the dairy and the farm was always here. We would come back on the weekends. And then in 1992, the dairy, we were not milking cows. We were just running some beef cattle here. But my dad and my uncle formed a partnership, fired the dairy operation back up. We started milking cows again. Then my dad opened up his own vet clinic here on the farm, which is now Rockin' Country Vet Services, which is now what my sister Jennifer runs. So a lot of background there. And we've always had this farm in our family. It's for 6 generations now. But that's a little side nugget that I was actually born in Kentucky even when we moved here when I was 5. And then it took off from there for me. I began raising baby calves. And here on the farm, when you learn how to do something, it becomes your job. So learn how to feed baby calves. That was my first job. Then got big enough where I could reach the clutch pedal on the old tractor. Started driving tractors. Then I was tall enough to reach the milk cows and put the machines on. And then I started milking the cows. And here we are. Haven't looked back since. So, and during all that, I was heavily involved in 4-H and athletics. So me and my sister Jennifer got involved here in the local FFA project. I showed beef cattle, dairy cattle, and sheep, and was fortunate enough to win some state titles in those fields, and provided scholarship opportunities for me in college. And same as my sister Jennifer. In sports, I played baseball and football, heavily involved with those, and I still am involved in both of those today. And I'm not playing; I'm just coaching. So, very active. And the mindset here on the dairy when I was growing up was work before play. So, and we were bouncing around. I was fortunate enough; my parents supported my sister and I through all of this. So we were bouncing around from one thing to the next between sports, and I would go play a football or baseball game and then show cattle at the fair that night. Or we'd spend the night at the fair, show the animals, and then I'd have a football game that Friday night. So very active childhood, and I hope I can implement that same kind of thing into my kids. So it didn't start here at the dairy with me. I actually started in Kentucky. We moved here, and then here we are at Hatcher Family Dairy. So I'm showing my age here, but in about 2007, I was in college at Middle Tennessee State University. And about that time, that's when we were beginning to bottle our milk, and my dad had this vision and dream of doing that along with my uncle. So we were fortunate enough to partner with the university I was attending, Middle Tennessee State University. They had a creamery there, so we were able to take our milk there, them show us the ropes on how to bottle. And then in 2009, when I graduated college, I came back here on the farm, and we just completed our creamery, the Abe Hatcher Creamery. So that's when we took full charge and full responsibility, and we're full steam ahead with processing and distributing our own milk products here at the dairy. And I pursued a agriculture business degree. I'm fortunate and thankful that my parents really didn't put an ultimatum or anything like that on me for college, but I knew that my granddad always said, always get your education. They can't take that away from you. So that always resonated with me, and I saw this opportunity to partner with this university, and I had scholarship opportunities through 4-H. So pursued an ag business degree there, graduated with that, made some awesome relationships with professors and made lifelong friends. And I still talk to a lot of those friends and professors to this day, and I always bounce ag ideas and farming questions off of them. So that's kind of the my college background, and it was kind of lining up with our business and our bottling takeoff. So I'd like to give a shout out to my lighting sponsor of this program, which is Gentry's Farm. They gave me some lights for Christmas, and we're utilizing those right now for this production. So now I'd like to answer some questions from you all. I really enjoy doing this because I can communicate with you and hear from you all. So first one is from Kenny Hand. He asked, what are some things that are necessary for raising cattle? He and his dad, I believe, just got some longhorns. So main things you need for raising any livestock is food, water, and shelter. Having readily available water. This time of the year in particular, in the summertime, you need adequate shade and cover. And you need a lot of space for them to be in as well. And you need fencing. Great fencing. You don't want to be, Kenny, running around chasing longhorns on the weekends or at nighttime. So good boundary fencing, water source, shelter, and you need a good veterinarian too. We happen to have one of those here on the farm. So that's just some of the key necessities there. And once you get more involved with it, you'll find out along the way, and you'll find out the do's and don'ts. Morgan Shirley asks, do we have nicknames for each other in the family? And what do people call me? And what do I call Mary, Morgan, Sharon, and Jennifer? So I love attacking this question here because we really don't have nicknames for each other, but my niece and nephew, the young ones, we kind of let dictate that. So I got ridiculed so much for this when our television show was airing and premiering, and my sister did too, because we call my mom Sharon, not Mom. We've always done that. There's no disrespect. When you're in sports and showing cattle and all these loud barns, when you say Mom, everybody, all the moms turn around. So we just started saying Sharon, and then it stuck. So she is Sharon. It's no disrespect for her. She doesn't take any disrespect. So we literally call my mom Sharon. And then what do I call Jennifer? Do I call her Jen or Jenny? Actually, we call her straight up Jennifer. So no short names there. And then Mary Morgan. She's on the other side of this camera here. So my niece and nephew have very southern accents, and we don't really say the double name thing, so we call her Murray. So my little nephew, southern accent, he started calling her Murray, so we just call her Murray jokingly, and I'm sure she's thrilled to death about that nickname. And my friends and family, I'm called Charles, but when I'm coaching on the field or my buddies, they always call me Hatch or Hatcher because Charles is not so fun to yell out when you're on an athletic field. It's better to hear your last name. So next question is Brenda Visser. It says, what's the cat's name? So this is Mickey, and he really is the life of the party. He's a barn cat, and he just chills and hangs out. He was actually a wild cat and then became tame, and now he just hangs out at my barn. So he's a cool little guest. Greg Sage asks, what's the cow's choice of music while milking? Well, me and the ladies love some rock and roll, especially classic rock. That's 60s and 70s stuff. I was raised on classic rock. The classics, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Leonard Skinner, and all those. Leslie Flynn asked, or she doesn't ask a question. I just want to give a shout out to her and her 5-year-old son and her family that are big fans of our show. She says that they come get milk from our store, and then her 5-year-old son proudly wears a Hatcher Family Dairy hat out in public. So she doesn't have a question, but I just wanted to give her a shout out and her 5-year-old son. Thank you so much for watching and being supportive of our little family operation here. So thank you all for sending these in. I look forward to doing this every week. It's kind of enjoyment for me and gets me away from the hustle and bustle of the farm. So thank you all so much, and look forward to hearing from you, and we will see you next week.